Saturday morning flight sim.
It's not morning, you drongo. It's evening.
Good morning, good evening. Oh, it seems like a king to bring that down. Hang on. Oh, we've got two things going here. Good morning, folks. How you doing? Welcome to Positive Rate. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we got a nice little tour here today. Place I've actually been to as well, which is pretty cool. It's Hong Kong. So big shout out to everybody on the chat this morning. I see Dan. Actually, it's a little bit quiet, but I know some people are watching. If you're wanting to fly with us today, please do jump in. This is a airport that was introduced by Microsoft Flight Simulator. Nighthawk is not actually available anymore, strangely. But Sorry, I'm just adjusting volume levels here. Excuse me. Yeah, it's the airport's closed, but as part of the kind of heritage restoration, shall we call it, Microsoft reintroduced Nighthawk in all its glory, and there's a good reason it was closed, and I'll just focus on the approach path there. Can actually see the approach lights curve. Aircraft flying into this had to pretty much skirt the tops of buildings to get close enough to see everything. It was quite amazing, really. I do notice I'm looking a bit dark as well, so I'll try and fix that a bit later. Anyway, hope you're all doing well. It's cold here, really cold here. It's woke up to about -2, well, respectively. I know it's colder other places, but big shout out to Nighthawk. He says, morning everyone, how are you doing, Nighthawk? And Jhhg says morning as well. Hope you're doing well, Jhhg, and hope your wife is feeling a bit better as well, actually. Yeah, it's a bit on the colder side today. That's what I would say. So I was out with the dog this morning, you know, taking a nice walk and everything like that, and it was just a lovely brisk morning. Anyways, Nighthawk, you flying with us today? Doesn't look like it might be a solo tour at the moment, but cheers. Well, yeah, no worries, Jhhg. Hope everything's going well. I know it's not easy times. Not easy times at all. And if you're watching in the background and you're not necessarily in the chat, I hope you're doing well, and thank you for joining the stream today. So, yes, we're going to be doing a tour around Hong Kong, and I'll just bring up the good old map here so we can show you what we're up to. So we are currently at Nighthawk. We're going to take off and do a nice flight over the city. Lots of mountains around the area. You just found the flight plans loading in? Perfect. And then we're going to cut south and do a nice kind of tour around the bay of Hong Kong. Hong Kong's actually massive. It's 4 islands, folks. 4 islands, which is really, really cool. And there's a train that interconnects all of them as well, which I've been on. So yeah, we'll do a circle around that, and then we'll cut up to the north. Do a nice circle around the beautiful terrain in this area, and come back down again, and eventually circle to the south around to Macau International that we'll land at. There's no scenery for this. There is some payware scenery, but we don't actually have that scenery, unfortunately, at the moment. But we'll see what it's like anyway. But yeah, I mean, I think the journey itself should be interesting. Lots of little islands and water. Hong Kong's a fascinating city. If you ever have a chance to go, it's definitely worthwhile. It's completely unique. It lives up to its reputation. If you've seen various films, I know that I think Rush Hour. I think was set in Hong Kong partly, wasn't it? And lots of Bruce Lee films, obviously, were set there as well. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. Excuse me. So we're getting in touch with the cold just from the cold weather. So we'll give a couple minutes for Nighthawk to spawn in here. I'm currently at parking 17, if that's any help, Nighthawk. Just in case you're wondering where I'm situated. But yeah, it's just raise the camera a bit. It is such a crazy city. Now I've actually got some enhancements. So I've got the Samsung 3D Hong Kong City Times, I think it's called, and this is available from Vhhx. And if Dan, if you could chuck the Vhhx link in there for me, that'd be great. Our good friends at Vhhx have quite a few actually, especially on the Asian side. There's some great city scenes, and it gives you a lot of general enhancements on the buildings and the architecture that you can see through Hong Kong. And I mean, it's just such a vast city for a place that's pretty much nestled between the mountains and the sea. Awesome, massive port city as well. You'll see a lot of cargo come through Hong Kong, and it's a huge international airport too. You get a lot of connecting flights to other parts in Asia and Oceania. So it's quite common for people to stop off at Hong Kong to fly on to various parts of Africa, Middle East, and also, you know, Australia and New Zealand. My personal experience with Hong Kong was the new airport. This is not the new airport, but my personal experience was flying from Toronto to Hong Kong via Anchorage, and then onward to Sri Lanka. And that was many, many moons ago. But yeah, it's a very impressive city, and I had a day to kind of wander around and went to the Kowloon market. It was just completely transformative, and of course the rain is really something as well. You know, bright sunny day like this. We've got a few clouds today, but you know, bright sunny day like this, and then oh, I think I know why I'm a bit faint. Just a minute, guys. I'll be right back. Oh, yeah, that should improve things a bit. There was sunlight streaming in through the window. I was throwing off the green screen effect there. Nighthawk says, yeah, if you like helicopters, there's a freeware to add hundreds of helicopters to Hong Kong. Oh, that's very cool. Thank you very much, Dan. Appreciate that. So yeah, do give that link a bit of a bash, folks. It helps us, lets Orbix know that we're getting attention to them, and they're fantastic sponsors of Positive Rate. I can see, looks like Nighthawk is in a twin. Oh, DHC6, is that supposed to be a twin otter? I don't know if I have that loaded right now. Yeah, we can unfortunately see you again. Cheeky sod. How cheeky is that? So anyway, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're doing okay. I think we'll probably push about 150 knots today if everyone's happy with that, and we'll get going. So I'll just get the power on. See, flight plan's already loaded into our handy PMS GTN 750. Just do a quick controls check, make sure everything's operating okay. That looks okay, and let's get everything going here. So first of all, we want to put on fuel pumps. Collision light, pitot heat, don't think we'll need that today. Let's give her a bit of a start. Oh, fuel is on, yeah. I'll just turn off, actually before I do that, let me turn up the... Okay, let's try again, here we go. A little bit of fuel. There we go. Okay, so the might as well depart. The runway's just off to my left. No, right. The other right. So we'll probably just take off there. We got lots of news today as well. There's so much happening. It's unbelievable. And a very contentious thing to do with Beyond ATC, if you've heard about the new AI thing. Very, very interesting times, I think. Put on our landing light. I think that'll do. Get the brakes off. Oh, and we'll tuck that away as well. And allegedly down here somewhere there's a runway. Just a little bit lost. There we go. So how's everybody doing? I hope your week's been okay. Definitely starting to see the spring weather slowly creeping in Scotland. Although, as I said, it is a rather cold one today. But yeah, I mean, we're starting to see some blossoms. We get, what do we get usually? Cherry blossoms are actually starting to come out here, which is really cool. Makes things feel a little less kind of, I don't know, how would you put it, depressing. But you can really see a lot of the detail in the buildings. Just have a look around. It's quite amazing. Okay, we'll just give a couple secs for Nighthawk to form up on my wing here. There he is, right behind me. Jayhawk says, if you can call getting a fine for going through a bus lane a good week, oh dear. Oh dear. That's an unfortunate one. Okay, props to full. Everything ready to go, and brakes are off. Come on. And here we go. $70 knots. How's the rate? You're up. The building's actually changing. That's cool. Okay. Bring the autopilot in. I'm just going to freeze that altitude for the moment. And we'll reverse course. First course on our heading a bit here. What do you want to do? Bring that guy around. Oop. There's Nighthawk behind me. You want to keep an eye out. We don't want to hit any buildings. Lots of bridges that interconnect Hong Kong islands as well, so you can drive or take a train. But yeah, I was going to say before I had to close the blinds there, but the rain. So it was a sunny day when I went to Hong Kong, and then all of a sudden the rain just downpoured heavy for like 5 minutes, and then it just stopped. And all these, everybody had umbrellas, so that's one thing I will say. If you do go to Hong Kong, make sure you bring an umbrella, even if it looks like an absolutely gorgeous day, because you never know what's going to happen. It's pretty astounding. Okay, we're not quite on nav yet. Let me just zoom out the map. All right. Don't want to hit that mountain either. It's giving you a really good tour of the city, though. Look at that. And it's a very beautiful city at night as well. Okay, that's the nav kicked in there. Oop. Somebody's down just a tiny bit. Let me know if the levels are okay. Okay, we're running a little bit quick here. Actually, no, probably where we want to be. Again, more bridges. Look at that. I love all the, you get a lot of detail with the ships and everything like that as well. And it just shows how busy this place is. Very cool. Was Dan say Sheffield's most wanted notorious criminal? Yeah. So how much was that fine, J-Hug? It's quite a hefty one. Amazing. That's us on plane. See the cargo ports. Look at all the cranes. Just absolutely amazing. Just proves how much cargo goes through this city. 80 quid if you pay in 21 days. Or if 80 pounds, or if you pay in 21 days, 35, yeah. That's the common trick, eh? It's like you could fight it, or you could just get it for less than half price and just make it go away. It's very crafty, that. I seem to be... I run afoul of parking tickets, me. I always seem to get parking tickets when I'm traveling around. I got one in Carlisle. And I was parked on a double yellow line in an alley road behind a building on a Sunday, so I could dash into a corner shop. I was literally away from the car 2 minutes, and I came back, and there was a ticket on my windshield for £75. It's like, what? On a Sunday, like a back alley drive that nobody by any right would care about. You blame the wife for talking to you? Yeah. Sure. There's Nighthawk behind me. As we depart Hong Kong and venture to the south. I think we're going south, right? Let me check. Yeah, going south. So we're going to circle around the islands, hook ourselves back, and then we'll head north, back over the city. But I mean, look at that. I mean, who lives there? It's like a little kind of neighborhood just out on an island. It's amazing. Pretty crazy. Yeah, the wife's an easy one to blame, eh? Right. So I think we'll do the circle around, come back over the city, and then as soon as we do that, we'll get into the news. Everyone sounds happy with that, but look at it. There's such lush green. I mean, that's the other thing I loved about Hong Kong. You can't really see it in the sim, but it's got these massive trees all throughout the city, and they're some of them are just as tall as the buildings beside them. It's really cool. There's another settlement over there. And you still see the, I think they called it the Chinese junks. You still see some of those puttering about as well, which is kind of cool. The old traditional little, I guess they're fishing vessels or something like that. Now this, what we're approaching is, let's see. This is Kwai Wan Sun Swin Island. Or Tai Kwai Wan Sun. Probably not doing it justice. And this is actually, it's quite a established settlement on here. I mean, I would reckon the population here has probably got to be around 50,000. Just looking by it, and it's just out in the middle of nowhere on an island. It's really astounding. Quite amazing. Got everything down there. Running track. Looks like a football pitch or something like that. Really, really cool. And we'll start hooking around and head back towards the main city, the main island. See if we can bring up the map here. Does that work? Yeah. You can see the city off in the distance. Nighthawk behind us. Oh, he's fading back a bit. Am I going a bit quick for you, Nighthawk? Let me know. I can slow down a little. Okay, so as we mentioned, we'll head back just over the city. As we skirt up past Hong Kong, we'll go into the news. Bring some blues in. What's up? Well, that was unexpected. Was that for J-Hug and his bus ticket? Look at that. Beautiful. It was quite warm when I went there too. I think the ambient temperature was somewhere around 31 degrees. You guess so? Really neat. It's astonishing to think how many people live in this area as well. I don't have those figures to hand, actually. I think they might be in the show notes. And big thanks to Nick for his lovely detailed notes. That's some great information and facts about Hong Kong and Kai Tak. So a huge thank you to him. I suspect he's probably working at the moment. The Nighthawk's way back there. Okay. I think it might slow down a wee bit. There we go. But some of the buildings are just so cool. Sorry, waiting for the level of detail to load in there, but. Like that one there, that's kind of neat. I like that one. It's kind of interesting shape. Lovely beaches around here as well. Don't know if the water would be particularly clean, but and there's another settlement. Look at that. Amazing. Very cool. Okay. I think we're just about to hit our right turn. I think as soon as we come to the crest of that island there, or that peninsula. So I can just check the cockpit and make sure we're going to clear that hill. Oh man. So Jayhawk, what do you have to do with that ticket? Do you have to pay that online then? Is that how it works? It's all kind of electronic nowadays, isn't it? Getting a good look of Hong Kong from the west. Yeah, it was online. I mean, nowadays they don't even have. Some of them are camera driven, so you'll have a great day and you'll think everything's fine. I haven't done anything wrong, and then suddenly, you know, a couple days in the post and a ticket comes through the door. I find that even more infuriating. It's like they can't even be bothered to send someone out to give me the ticket. Okay, I think what I might do is just going to increase the altitude a bit here. I'll take it up to about 3,000. That's what it was. It was over a week. Oh, wow. Oh, that's really nasty. That's just nasty, isn't it? Get much more of a bird's eye view now. Just coax that up to 3,000. Starting to brush the clouds, that's probably good enough. Hold it there. There we go. Oh, Nighthawk's going for a closer look. Yeah, I mean it's just getting. It's so kind of devious and conniving now. All these fines they have. Jayhawk says, "I have to go, buddy. Catch you later. Safe flight." Jayhawk, thank you for dropping by. I wish you all the best. Have a great Saturday, mate. Look at that bridge. Love that. Okay. Once we do our final pass past Hong Kong, and then we'll get into the news. And that gives you even another great impression of how big the city is. Especially, I love the buildings climb all the way up the hill, and they're still under construction. They're still building more. So yeah, if you want to add a bit of detail to the sim there, I definitely recommend the Samsung 3D City Times Hong Kong from Orbix. It really does kind of add something to it, and it puts in some specific landmark buildings as well, which is cool. Okay. So bring that music down, and we'll get into the news, folks, because there is lots to talk about. Here we go. Yes, indeed. Time for news. Lots to cover today, and this first one is a doozy. It's an absolute doozy. And I'm just going to quickly check on this and make sure we're okay. Yeah, we're not going to hit anything. That's fine. Anyway, beyond ATC. Okay, so this is the artificially intelligent driven air traffic control that is supposed to be obviously a lot more immersive than what you get in Flight Simulator, because it's actually, thinking in a way. It kind of looks at where you are, and it has a set of rules that it needs to abide by, just like a real air traffic controller. So they finally announced pricing for this, and I'll tell you what, I don't think this is going to go down well. So before you even start, it's $60 US just to get on board. Okay, one-time lifetime purchase gives you access to all the features and feature updates. Great, although some limitations apply. Here's where the catch is. The pricing model is split up in 3 different voice models: offline, basic, and premium. Okay, now just to give you a nice understanding of what this means. So offline basically says it'll have a pre-packaged set of responses that it can do that work offline. You don't have to be connected to the internet. Or you can go for basic, what kind of gives you some general enhancements over the offline, but it uses the cloud to generate the responses, makes it a bit more intelligent, if you will, because a lot of the AI thinking is all based in the cloud. And then you have premium, and that's supposed to be, the creme de la creme, etc. Okay, fine, except if you can make head or tail of this, I give you, I'll bow down to you, because this just, I'm reading this and it's unreal. So when you buy it, you get access to 3,750,000 units of transmission time. Units is their own proprietary whatever, and 6,250 units of premium voice model, where the units represent the transmission time. Okay. So how do these units work? Assuming a user uses no other traffic in the simulator, the flight will cost between 8,000 to 15,000 units. Okay, so obviously when you first purchase, that's going to take quite a bit of time to wind down the transmission time, unless you're using premium, in which case that first flight is just going to burn out your initial allowance right away. This could increase to 25,000 or 45,000 units using the premium voice model. Okay, and again, I don't know how that manifests, if you have to spend money, etc. Using traffic in the simulator would see these ranges increase between 50 to 200,000 units for basic voice model, and 150 to 600,000 for the premium voice model. The offline voice model uses no units at all, can be used anytime. Right. So I guess the challenge here is mainly because they're using up cloud time, right? So, and they get built for that, right? So any, the amount of responses and time you spend using the cloud-based AI, it's a service. It's a platform service. I understand they have to pay out for that. So what they're basically trying to do is directly offload how much you use the product into these kind of pricing units, so that you are directly accountable for how much time you use. Can I just say I think that sucks? And I'll come back to it, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So as we move down, okay, after running out of units, Beyond ATC offers you 3 different packages to purchase units again. For $5 US, you can buy 500,000 units, whereas $10 will get you 1.5 million, and $20 will get you 3,300,000. You can also continue to use the offline voice model, which doesn't cost anything at all, but features a lower quality audio set than the voice model, as I would expect, because it's being locally computed on your PC rather than using the cloud service. The emphasizes model has been chosen to avoid making Beyond ATC a subscription service. Well, you know what? Make it a subscription service. This is ridiculous. I mean, and this is how crazy it gets. The next article, they've come up with a calculator to figure out how many units you need. I mean, guys, what are you doing? What are you doing? Right? You are. This is insane. I mean, Dan, have I been in this as emotional in recent days? This is nuts. If you actually have to create a calculator so that your customers can figure out what they need to get, how much money they need to spend with you to get the experience they want, something is seriously wrong. Seriously wrong. This is insane. How can they expect anybody to go for this? They want to avoid a subscription model, but the reality is it costs money, right? It costs server time. It costs, they get charged for the amount of AI. Just you need to just do a broad stroke and say, look, if you guys want this, I don't call it $10 US a month or something like that, right? We pay that for Navigraph. We pay that for, other things. This is a known thing to the flight sim community. And then some people will use it more. Some people will use it less, but it all averages out. And ultimately, you just have to make sure that monthly subscription across all your customer base is covering your costs and giving you a little bit of profit. But this is just insane. Dan says, it does make sense because I think every time APL, it costs some money. I get that, Dan, but I don't care. But then you have to educate your customer base on the unit pricing. I mean, it's bonkers. And it's still baffling. Of course it is. And Nighthawk is basically they're charging per second of airtime, but if you have to keep explaining your billing, you failed. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Right. Beyond ATC. Go to sleep. Get a good night's sleep. Okay? Wake up. Get a stiff cup of coffee. Right? I want you to go out into local neighborhood or something, even better if you can go to like a flight simulator, a shop that sells flight simulation gear, or go on to a live forum, a Discord community, something, and talk to the community about what they want and what they expect. This is insane, right? Nobody was going to go for this. If people go for this, I'll stand corrected. This is nuts. I wish them well. I know they put a lot of time in this, but this has got to change. It's just not going to fly, guys. Anyway, rant over. But how much control or knowledge of airtime does a user have? Well, I don't know, but does it matter? I mean, they can go offline, or they can go premium. That's pretty much the options they got, right? But does it matter? Does it matter, Nighthawk? It doesn't. Oh, man. My days. Anyway, moving on. Now, this is cool. So, first batch of World Hub updates. Now, World Hub is, in case you don't know what this is a tool that goes out to the community and allows you to make changes to local airports with annotation, like an annotation tool, I would call it. You can adjust runways, things like that. I think to a limited extent you can move buildings around, but you have to use like stock imagery, that kind of thing. Anyway, it gives the community an opportunity to improve, airports that nobody might otherwise consider. So maybe you have a local general aviation airport, or possibly even like a regional or international airport. Nobody's made any scenery for it. SOBA's never going to look at it, but it gives you a chance to improve it. And what that does is you can submit those changes, and if Microsoft approves them, they then roll them out in a free update for everyone to download and improve the sim, so they can benefit from your work, which is really, really cool. Well, it's in beta right now, but the guys that have been working on this in beta have generated some airports, and it's impressive. They got improvements for Dresden, Frankfurt, Antsurabato, Florida Keys, Marathon Airport, and those are now going to become available, which is really, really cool. So once they roll this out to the general community, again, I don't know how hard or easy it is to get approved for these things, but it's going to give you a chance, if you want to invest the time, to improve one of your local airports and make it look more authentic in Flight Simulator. Cool, eh? I think it's pretty good. Aerosoft. Now, this is really good news, too. I love this tool, but I stopped using it because there was a memory leak. But hopefully Aerosoft has actually pitched this up, and I am going to get this. I know a lot of people will use GSX, say, well, GSX is the superior product. Totally understand that. But GSX, you got to update profiles, blah, blah, blah. It's a bit more expensive. This is basically the Tool Pushback Pro, which everybody will know from FlightSim.to, but the developer has worked with Aerosoft to generate an enhanced version of it. You can still get the free one on FlightSim.to with a lot more features, and you know what? It's 10 euros or something like that, nothing. And it's well worth it. If you don't like GSX, you don't like the price, or you find it too complicated, this is a really good alternative, particularly for the pushback side of things and just controlling general things around the aircraft. It doesn't do anything like, imitate passengers or anything like that. Obviously, GSX Pro is the one you want to go. Dan does raise a good point, though. GSX Pro is 40% off. So there's a couple great options here, but if you don't want to jump into the GSX Pro side, this is a great alternative. Huge applause to Aerosoft for working with the freeware developer to bring this out, and it's really cool. SoFly, now they've released an Explore Canada, and it's an audio description thing. So as you fly around different areas, it gives you, I guess, kind of like a talking tour. Audio descriptions for 120 landmarks, points of interest, and important locations across the country. Very cool. I think it's quite a new spin on things. And I wish them well. I hope this goes pretty good. I could probably be your walking tour in some of these cases, but it's sounds pretty good. It's totally compatible with the Canada World Update as well. I don't know that it adds any scenery. I'm not necessarily seeing that. I think it's more like an audio thing, but there you go. Go check it out. Fly-by-wire, it's the big one, guys. They're teasing us. Look at that. The A380 internal shot cockpit, just recently shared by Fly-by-wire. My God, it looks awesome. Absolutely awesome. Now, I can only hope by giving us this really nasty, unfair teaser that things are getting closer, possibly to a release. I don't know. But it's phenomenal. And this has all been built from the ground up, guys. They haven't used anything stock from Flight Simulator or anything like that. This is handcrafted. It looks great. Huge applause to them. Thank you, Fly-by-wire. We hope you are getting on well. We cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what this is going to look like in the sim. Absolutely amazing. VAT USA, this is really cool. So if anybody flies on VATSIM, everyone knows that you have to monitor 122.8, which is, and you'll see it quite a lot on streaming, where if there's no air traffic control, you say, Edinburgh traffic, pushing back from blah, 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 blah. Kind of accurate, but kind of not. And the reason is a lot of airports don't rely on you being on 122.8. 122.8 is supposed to be the guard frequency when you're kind of en route between your destinations. What airports do tend to have instead, certainly the larger ones, is common traffic advisory frequency. Now this is a frequency that's specific to that airport. So rather than 122.8, it might be 123.55 or whatever it might be, and it'll be published, of course, in the charts for that airport. So what Vast USA, they recognized this and they said, well, we actually want to make this a little bit closer to real life. And therefore, they're going to start implementing these common traffic advisory frequencies into VATSIM, which is cool. So when you go into any airport that has a CTAF, if you talk on 122.8, nobody's going to hear you. So you'll be expected to switch over to the CTAF frequency for that airport if there's no ATC present. And basically the same way, you give your advisory approach runway 22 final, 3 miles, whatever. And yeah, it should be pretty good. And it'll probably make 122.8 less crowded around areas where you have lots of airports, but no air traffic control cover. So I think it's a good shout for them. Wish them all the well, and maybe we'll see that rolled out to other regions as well. Two-tone, obviously Murph, a huge friend of mine, and he was recently on Haggis Poutine Show, I should say. He is doing a big preview of the Chinook, which is coming out from Microsoft Flight Simulator. He's already had his hands on it. I think he actually mentioned that when he was guesting on the Haggis Poutine Show. Anyway, he's going to be showing it off. He's probably the first streamer that's actually going to be able to do this. So please go check him out. If you have found out about it from this channel, please tell him that we've sent you to his channel to see it. I believe he'll be doing this on YouTube. Yeah, so possibly Twitch as well. So do check out. Click on. Well, I could post a link to this actually. I'll post a link to that. Save it, mark it, bookmark it, whatever. It should be a good show, and I hope you'll really enjoy it. Actually, no, he's already done it, so it's a video you can just watch. There you go. Okay, I misread that. Another really big deal, Bluebird simulations. This thing just keeps looking better and better. I mean, look at the detail on that, guys. Look at the textures on the soft furnishings. In the cockpit. It's just looking absolutely stellar. We cannot wait. I cannot wait for this one. We don't have any 757 or credible 767 simulation in Microsoft Flight Simulator right now. I think it's going to be a massive, massive deal. And of course, speaking with Shervin, who was on the Haggis Poutine Show a few weeks back, absolutely lovely guy. Very hard worker, very determined. They've got a team of 11 developers in various crafters, modelers, etc. They're working so hard with Just Flight to make this a fantastic product. Really, really can't wait for that. Finally, Vhhx has released a triple pack for Sweden. This will give you Umeå, Kiruna, and Scandinavian Mountains Airport. So this has obviously been packaged together for $45.99 Aussie dollars. So I don't know what that works out, maybe about 25 US or 20 US or something like that. Anyway, three airports all packaged together. Absolutely fantastic. They do note though that you need to get rid of Kiruna from the world update, because this I guess they don't play well together, and this will overwrite and replace that, so just bear that in mind. But that is a great deal. Go check that out on Vhhx, and some lovely screenshots in here as well. You can see some lovely detail. Absolutely spectacular. Love that. Good deal, good value, and it gives you three great places to explore in Sweden. It's like that. I mean, that's like the loneliest couple on the planet, isn't it? It's not a sauna out in the middle of the water. Oh my God. You Swedes, you're crazy. You're crazy. We love it. We love you. Anyway, so that's the news. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. And we'll get back to our regular stream. it go. Let's bring up the tunes here. Right, where are we? Where are we? Okay, we're on our northern lake here. Okay, that's good. Yeah, 23, approximately 24 pounds, right, or $30 US. Cheers, thanks for that, Dan. Thanks for that. Still pretty good deal for 3 airports, I think. We're definitely over the boonies now. There's Nighthawk over there. It's very flat around here. Looks like there might be like a cloud layer or something. That looks very different. Don't know why. Don't hit the mountain. Don't hit the mountain. Okay, there we go. So current, what's our speed? 130 knots, that's not too bad. Just as well I wasn't flying too fast, we probably would have flown the entire route during the news segment. Sorry, bring up our map again. Alright guys, I'm just going to, excuse me, gonna grab a glass of water. Sorry Dan, he says I was looking at 757 for X-Plane 12, but I think it was $80 US, wow. To 100! Is that the one that's being, who makes that? Is that Tolus? Ooh, that's up there. It's expensive. I'll tell you what, it better be bloody good for that price, though. Right, guys, I'm just going to nip away, get something to drink, go for use the facilities, and I'll be right back with you. Stand by. All right, back with you guys. Oh, Flight Factor. Oh, is that the developer for the X-Plane 757? Okay. Now, when you see 80 to 100, is that 100 for both of them? Because if that's the case, that's maybe not too bad. That's actually a pretty good deal. I think in Bluebird's case, they're going to do those as completely separate products. They might do a package price down the track, but the impression I got from Shervin was they'll probably do it as two separate products, which is totally fine. But what I did like about what Bluebird was saying is, even after the 757 comes out, they're going to continue to work on the 767 and continue to make improvements on their general architecture, and they'll provide those updates back to the 757 as well. So when they develop the 76, anybody who's purchased 757 will still benefit from that, which is fantastic. Really, really good attitude. Dark Furies is popping in to say hi. Work shortly. Oh, what a shame. Thanks, Dark, for popping in. Appreciate it. We're just flying your lovely flight plan here. We're currently... Where are we? Yeah, we're just on our southbound leg to cross back over Hong Kong, the main island, and then looping around to Macau International. Did you, Dark, since you're here, I think you missed the news segment, but I was talking about the Beyond ATC's pricing structure. Have you seen it? It's absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Hi, work shortly, I'm Dan. Oh, come on. My dad used to say that all the time. I'm hungry or I'm bored. Oh, how bored? I'm dead. Lots of hills around here, that's for sure. It's like pay as you go on phones. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And they actually say they're doing it this way so they don't have to charge a subscription. And I'm like, you know what? Just charge a subscription. Charge a subscription and lower your upfront cost. It's just insane. I mean, at least they charge everyone, you know, they can still do their basic and premium, but, you know, say call basic £5 a month or $5 or whatever, and call premium $10 or £10 a month or whatever they want. Just make it a straightforward, here's what you pay and you'll get these features, that's it. But all this point system's just absolutely bonkers. It strikes me of a guy, like, I've seen things like this before, and it's like someone who's probably like really clever at math, who just liked the whole challenge of trying to come up with this pricing unit, and he's probably got like this whole thing on a magic Excel sheet that works out everything, and the guy probably, you know, after he did it, he probably sat back and went, "I'm a genius." I'm like, yeah, but you are and you're not, because no one's going to go for this. But I don't know. I still can't believe it. But I just laughed when I saw. Dan, I'm so glad you put up the second article about the calculator, because as soon as I saw that, I honestly was laughing hard before the stream. I was just laughing looking at this. I was shaking my head like, what are you guys doing? Oh man, it's so funny. There we go, coming back over the suburbs. Price the suburbs of Hong Kong are probably bigger than some cities. It's just so heavily populated. Crazy. Can't remember who said it, but someone was saying to me it would probably sell like hotcakes if it were available on the Xbox. What, even with the points? Nah. I mean, I think anything would sell well on Xbox, but price. I mean, if we're PC flight simulators, I'm not trying to put anyone down that flies an Xbox, because sometimes that's the only option, right? But guys like me that have been in the flight sim community for decades, it's just nobody. I could be wrong, right? And if anybody listening thinks I'm wrong, tell me. But personally, I would never go for that, and I cannot possibly see how anybody else would. So I think it's back to the drawing board, and just work out. What you got to do is you got to work out roughly what your costs are going to be, and you need to take a guess about what your customer base is going to be. And you just need to make sure your subscription is slightly higher than your costs. That's all you can do. Make a little bit of profit on it, and cover your expenses. Getting over to the guts of the big island again. Look at that. Lots of trains that go in and out of Hong Kong as well. Dark Fury says it's essential you buy the package and then pay for server usage after the initial purchase. So what are you saying? That's a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. Dan says, don't think you're wrong. To be honest, me personally, I would probably just stick to VATSIM. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I do. Some people like the idea. Maybe they don't want to go on VATSIM because they don't want to face a consequence environment, right? So I get that. And plus, it gives you the benefit of giving you air traffic control pretty much anywhere, right? But I think the problem I have with it, I think it's a hard sell anyway, because of things like VATSIM, which are free. And on top of the fact that it's a hard sell, it's relatively expensive to buy up front. I mean, 60 quid or $60 US is not cheap. And then after that, they've got this crazy nut bar points system that you have to keep filling up with cash. I mean, it's just it's kind of like they've made this great product, and they've just dug a hole in the ground, chucked it in a coffin, and buried the thing before you've even released it. That's what I think. Dark says it's a good thing in the sense you're not paying a monthly sub and not using it. You buy what you use. Yeah, so I get that, but I get that. That's a good point, actually. But there's still going to be a better way. I mean, I think here's how I would probably do it. I think the problem is they're trying to do a direct offset of costs, right? So every time, if you're in a busy area for air traffic control, say you're flying with the AI traffic, right? So the AI is talking back and forth to ATC as well. I presume that's what that means. Then you're going to use a lot more. But you know what? No, yeah, it's pay as you go. I kind of get that, but I think you can do that. To me, that's what a monthly subscription is. What they should do is Navigraph. Okay, if I know I'm not going to be using Flight Simulator for a good part of a month, obviously I am, but if I wasn't going to, I'd just cancel Navigraph for that month. That's why I pay month to month, right? What they should do, my thought is, rather than worry about points, just give a basic monthly sub, which is relatively inexpensive, and a premium monthly sub, which is more kind of juicy, feature rich, etc. And just do that, and then users can have the choice of either going between. They could have basic, they could upgrade to premium for a month, drop it back to basic if they want, or just cancel it altogether. But if the point is it's going to help people pay as they go, but they have to charge points every time they want to use it and they run out of points, it's a lot harder to get people to buy points when they run out, whereas you might just go, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to go to Vhhx, right? Whereas if you have a monthly sub, a lot of times people will sign up for that monthly sub and they'll stop thinking about it. So whether they're using it or not, they're still paying the sub, and that's kind of where I was going to. There'll be heavy users and light users, but the light users will offset the expense for the heavy users. But because you have that monthly sub in place, you're still covering your expenses, and that's what they need to work out. What's that middle line, right? Maybe it might be. Some people could say, well, I like the points because then if I don't fly a lot, I still have points left. Okay, I get that. But then I think a lot of people will run out of their initial points. Maybe they'll charge it up once, maybe even twice, and then they'll just say, you know what, screw it. And that's assuming you can convince them to spend the $60 US in the first place just to get access to it. So, I don't know. Call me crazy, but don't call me Susie. Dan says, I don't know, I just thought some kind of paid version in exchange for guaranteed coverage would be cool. Yeah, I mean, again, it's not a product I go for personally, but maybe people do want that product. I totally get that. But there are free options out there, right? Not for total coverage, I get that. But if you're gonna convince people to buy your product, the last thing you want to do is set yourself up where they're just going to abandon it. That's what I'm getting at. Dark says, would you then pay, say, $60 and $10 a month for 12 months after and use it only a handful of times? No, but I mean, maybe I would. Okay, first of all, I wouldn't pay 60 anyway, right? I would pay 25, and that gives me the offline version, right? And then I'll use the offline version for a bit. Maybe I'll get my initial credit, so I'll try out the basic, I'll try out the premium. Obviously, I'll burn up the premium on one flight probably, which is nuts. I mean, they should at least give you enough points off that purchase for a full premium flight. But the way I was reading it, it wouldn't even cover that. And then, yeah, I mean, maybe I'll use it if I'm using it a handful of times. Then why would I buy it in the first place, though? Right? But I wouldn't. Anyone who's going to pay 60 pounds is going to use it more than a handful of times. I mean, they're kind of committed to it. It's how long they stick to using it. And if they're having to keep recharge points all the time, where they end up burning it up in one flight or 5 flights, are they going to buy more points? I don't know. But it comes down to that you're putting the decision on them to buy it. I get that. But whereas subscription, people just tend to sign up for the subscription and let it run. It's a lot. You get a lot more retention for customers on a sub than you do on a point system. That's what I think. And that's why, you know, companies like Xbox, take Xbox, perfect example, right? So Xbox used to have a points-based purchase system rather than a monetary one. So if you saw a game you want, the game would be like 150 points or something like that. You had to then go buy points, and it was, you had, you know, so many points for $10, so many points for $20, etc. and so forth. And it was stupid, right? It really sucked. And then PlayStation was like, no, we'll just charge you the price. So they started losing a lot of people. And Microsoft eventually realized, you know what? It's just confusing, and people get annoyed with it because they always end up with leftover points. So I don't know. I can't see it. I just can't see it working. I'm sure we could talk about this for a Bubba. Hey Bubba, how's it going? He says, just not going to go beyond ATC. It would cost me 350 USD a month. Well, there you go. Exactly. It's insanity. But it's still subscription by stealth. Yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly. It's like, and again, like if you have to create an online calculator to help your customers understand what they need to buy, like, forget it. All the other arguments fall flat at that point. They all fall flat. Yes, you could argue that it's a pay-as-you-go. Yes, you could argue that it benefits people who just want to fly occasionally and they don't want to lose all their money, but I don't see it. They do the same thing on Azure AWS. Yeah, they do that, but that's commercial charging. I mean, that's kind of, your audience is a lot different, you know. But to try and put, and again, you know what, Bubba, that's what I was saying. It was probably some guy who's clever at math, or probably from the IT world, who is maybe saying, "Oh, that works for this, so we'll just do it here." It doesn't. That doesn't work. Dark Fury says the issue I see with what you're saying is we don't know who the software actually runs, uses, and the actual cost incurred to use it. Well, I mean, that's, to be fair, that's really none of our business, right? I mean, ultimately, any developer, if you're running a server, right, as an example, or you have some sort of server service that has to support your product, right? So you set up, Navigraph is probably the best example, right? So they provide ERIC updates. They provide an online planning tool. All that, that costs money. They got to host it. It's got to be responsive. So they've got a monthly sub, right? Now, how much money do they make on that? I don't really care. Maybe they make a lot, maybe they make very little. It doesn't really matter. It's worthwhile because of what I'm getting for my monthly sub. And you know what? As an example, like when I was off, when I had the internet issue last year, I barely touched the sim, right? And I could have actually justified canceling the sub for Navigraph for that month because I wasn't really getting any benefit, but I didn't because I couldn't be bothered, right? And for the sake of saving what, 8 or 9 pounds or whatever it is now, I was like, well, I'll just whatever. Maybe I will fly, maybe I won't, but I'll just leave the sub in place because I don't want to cancel it and then go sign up again, right? So from that perspective, that's where I'm getting at. It's like if you get someone on a monthly subscription program, it's very unlikely that they're going to just cancel it because they're not using it as often as they might. Whereas if you force someone to have to spend money every time they burn out their allotted time, eventually you get to purchase fatigue, because it's almost like microtransactions, and they'll just say, you know what, screw this. I'm not going to bother paying this time, and then their customers just fall off a cliff. Especially if they're not actually doing anything to improve the product, right? Anyway, Dark Your Afro, no, have a good day at work, mate. Massive fail? Yeah, I think so. They could do voices without going the whole AI thing. They could. I guess the whole thing with the AI is the AI, I presume, it's not just a voice, but it's actually interacting more intelligently with what's going on in the sim, right? I'm assuming that. It better be that for the price. But you need to find that common balance. You need to find that price tier package that's just, look, this is how much you're going to pay monthly. If you pay this monthly, you get these features. If you pay this monthly, you get these features. And then it's fire and forget. You don't have to do anything after that. It just works, right? That's what people need to do. That's what they need to do. Yeah, and you run out of credit mid-flight. I know, exactly. I mean, come on. It's just nuts. Premium levels are all about voices? Oh, okay. Well, good luck to them. That's all I can say. Oh, I'm in clouds now. What's going on? Oh, Nighthawk's below me. Dan says, my thinking also, can they potentially recover from this because they have probably turned away a lot of people? Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially before your product's coming out, people are watching very closely because they haven't seen it yet. So there's a buzz, right? And they've now dropped this. This is being consumed just as much as a major announcement on anything else to do with the product. And people are going to be looking at this going, huh? And then, nah, screw that. And then they blacklist it in their brain. So maybe, next week, and I highly believe this will happen, they're going to come back and say, you don't know, we made a mistake. We're actually just going to do a monthly subscription, and here it is. And people will be like, they'll see beyond ATC. They won't even read the article to be like, oh yeah, them, screw that. You're right. Yeah, they've already written it off in their head. It's a huge blunder. Huge blunder. Yeah, and they built up a lot of hype before, and they did. I know. And then all that effort and money that they spent on the hype has just been flushed down the toilet. Proverbially. Anybody care for a swim? Alright, there's Nighthawk up above. Or ahead, I should say. On to Macau. So we're doing another kind of lazy loop around the islands, and then I think Macau must be up there somewhere. Not sure. Yeah, and that's your issue. It's deceptive. Yeah, it is deceptive. I agree. I mean, again, if you gotta provide an online calculator for your customers to figure out what they need to buy. It's just. I still can't stop laughing. Oh man, what is going through your head? Honest to God. Oh my God. It's you know what I think, Bubba? I think it's arrogance. It's almost like. And you do find people like, we want to come up with this complicated structure so people think that we're really smart or clever, and you just, I'd be like, yeah, maybe you are, but you're also going to be poor. I don't know. I think we're well past the days where there's so much competition out there, and for Flight Sim, there's a lot of competition already. There's going to be so much more. And it really comes down to pricing and perceived value, right? And if you want to make it as a developer or a studio in Flight Sim, you need to create a great product, and you need to price it appropriate to what that product gives you, what that delivers to the customer. You get either one of those two things wrong, you're out the door, okay? Give you an example. the guy that did the toolbar pushback, you know, he went to Airsoft. He says, I really want to enhance this, but I can't afford to just do this for free. I'd like to do like a premium one. Airsoft's like, right, but ultimately all it is a pushback tool, right? And it does some other stuff, but it doesn't really do anything else. So we'll bring it to market. We'll charge 10 euros for it, which is not a lot, because it doesn't really do anything apart from this one specific function, right? For me, I think... Oh! Are you just trying to get me off my my soapbox? Is that what's happening? Dan, put this towards your Beyond ATC ATC credit hedge fund. No, but I will definitely put it towards our Epidemic Sound subscription, which has gone up again. So thank you very much, Dan. Currently incurring Epidemic Sound is now up to £15 a month. It's taking a huge chunk of my wallet. But yeah, huge thanks, Dan. I really appreciate it. This one's for you.
Thank you.
What a man. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Much obliged to me. Bubba says, see, Mr. Pushback Toolbar lost momentum, bitching about not getting enough to keep doing it. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Donate your bitcoins, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, and he had, there was definitely a problem with the tool as well. There was like a memory problem, and he probably had a day job, and, you know, in his head, he's like, I can't chase down what's going wrong, because I just can't afford to spend more time on it, right? So, okay, maybe people said he was bitching, I get that. But then he wasn't charging anything for his product. So I think, you know, the community can be relatively unfair at times to freeware developers. But you know what? He made the right decision. He went to Aerosoft. He says, "Look, I want to make it better, but I need to get some money back for this, and maybe I need a bit of help and a distributor. You know, would you help me bring this premium product to the market?" And Aerosoft has given him good guidance. Said, "Yeah, you know, let's do it for 10 euros." It's not like it's not a fancy tool, like as far as utilities go. It doesn't do a lot, but what it does really well. And it just works well as well, right? You know, and I think they've nailed it. You know, hopefully I wish him well. I hope a lot of people buy it. It'll be available for the marketplace. Hopefully they'll with Aerosoft too, they'll support it and fix any bugs and that might show up with sim updates as well, which is really important. Not going to hold my breath, but hopefully they do. And it's funny, you know, it's totally cool. And then if you get companies like PMDG who, you know, they've got all their various variants. You know, they've had flack because, well, they've got a 700, an 800, and a 600, and a 900 of their PMDG, and everyone's like, why are you charging? Fair enough, the 600 is fairly cheap, but why are you charging? You know, I have to pay the same amount of money to get all the different variants, and it's like, well, but then you can get the variant you want, right? So, and ultimately, it doesn't matter because each variant in its own right is worth the money. Is it worth the money to buy all of them? Probably not. And maybe that's something the PMDG has to think about. But individually, if someone said, "Well, I want to get the 800, but I kind of want the 700, but I want to spend the money for the 800 and the 700," and I'd say, "Well, why don't you just get the 800? Because it's worth the money for the 800, just the 800." Yeah, but then it's a ripoff for one to buy the 700, so maybe I just won't buy it. I'm like, well, okay, so you're just not going to buy it? It's like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So, but it's, you know, these guys they're delivering value for a good price. We'll see what happens with TFDI and the MD11. I think they're actually pricing it at $69.99 now, though, so that should be okay. But I think initially they were talking like $100. But obviously someone's got a hold of them and said, yeah, you're just kind of shooting yourselves in the foot before you even get going. Yeah, you dropped it over a year ago. GSX, yeah. GSX is obviously their big competitor, right? Pushback Pro is under $15 Canadian. The good thing with it is you can use it on all craft. Yeah, all aircraft and all airports. You have the MD-11? Oh, because you... yeah, was it like an early access purchase? Is it good? It is looking... I've been seeing some previews of it on A330 Drivers channel, and it looks really good. Yep, number 331. All right, cool. No, that's good. Yeah, it looks pretty slick, and it's improving all the time. Yeah. No, that's good. I wish him well. Well, Nighthawk's leaving me for dust. Right, final leg, and then we're gonna swing north to Macau Airport. Airport will be somewhere up there behind the clouds. And how's their community support been, Bubba? Are they quite good, or did they give you a good impression? Does it make you feel like it was a worthwhile investment? But TFDI, to be fair, have been around for quite a while. Beluga, he's jumped on. Good afternoon. I haven't been on a lot of streams because I flew out to Tenerife on the 10th of February. And all right, you're in Tenerife, okay? And I'm not home, so I'll just pop in and say hi. Oh, thank you, Beluga. Appreciate it. I hope you're getting nice weather out there. I wish I was in Tenerife, that's for sure. Good community, very positive, very cool, awesome. That's good to hear. Yeah, TFDI's been around for a long time. I seem to recall that TFDI started out as a freeware developer on 2004 FSX. Am I right? I'm pretty sure they put out some freeware stuff initially, and then they obviously kind of migrated into payware. But they've been around for over a decade anyway. Longer, I think. But yeah, I wish them well. And nobody else is doing the MD-11 right now, so that's pretty good. Beluga says, I'm home now, sadly, but we were flying on Saturdays, which is... Oh, you're flying on Saturdays, which is when you stream, right? Well, I wasn't streaming last week, so you didn't miss anything. But you should have been here today, sir. You got a brand new PC, did you not? I was drooling over your screen captures that you're posting in the Discord community. Looks like it was pretty good performance. I'm gonna have to think about maybe investing in my PC at some point, but fortunately I just went through major house renovations. I'm absolutely broke, so I'm just gonna have to make do with my mid-range experience for the time being. Can't go chasing GTX 4070s and, well, you know, high speed processors like you guys. There's one guy I was talking to. He's like, "Oh yeah, I wanted to get a computer for flight simming because I'm kind of interested in it." And I said, "All right." I said, "Have you ever done it before?" He says, "No, not really. I tried it at a buddy's house, but it looked really fun, so I decided to get a PC." I said, "Okay, what kind of specs did you get?" And he goes, "Well, I phoned this company that kind of builds them for you." And I said, yeah, and told him what I wanted to do, and he asked me a couple questions. So I got says I got a 1,000 watt power supply, NVIDIA 4090, AMD some like 7900 XD whatever, something, I don't know. 64 gigs of RAM. I'm like, jeez, man. No, 4 terabyte solid state drive. Actually, he's got two solid state drives. I think he had a 4 terabyte and a 1 or 2 terabyte or something like that. Absolutely insane. So how much you spend on this thing? He goes, I don't know, about 4,000 pounds. Fair enough. Yeah, PC was surprised when I got home. Frame gen is me. Yeah, it would be. Yeah. 70 FPS. Palma without frame gen. Excellent. That's amazing. Excellent. Excellent. That's really, really good. I mean, my card, I got a GTX 1660 that's not even compatible with DLSS. So I'm definitely running an old equipment now. And unfortunately, you know, my monthly subs for Epidemic Sound are costing me as well. So it's all good. It's all good. We're here because we want to be, aren't we? Right, final leg. Looks like, yeah, we have started turning towards the north. So I imagine we'll probably get about, maybe about 10-15 minutes. And then we'll land at Macau International. But hey, no, it's good. Day. I'm glad you got a new PC, Beluga. It's really exciting. Really exciting. You have to come back flying with us, though, don't you? And did you have you tried anything like the Vhhx on it or the PMDG? Are you finding good performance with that as well? Speed up a little bit, try and catch Nighthawk. Alright, see you later. Driving to grandparents' house. Yep, no worries. Beluga, have a fantastic Saturday. We're definitely looking forward to getting you back on the stream with us, mate. Definitely. We miss you. We miss you. Dan says, I'm doing a long haul later practice for the, is it Ryanair? Virtual Ryanair delivery flight. Taking a brand new 738 from the Boeing field in Seattle all the way to Dublin. Oh, God, wow. Well, make sure you get some pee breaks and some food breaks. 738, yeah. And I suppose empty it could do it, yeah. It's a long flight. Very long, Great Circle route and all that. I think, do you fly over Greenland? Must do. Must fly over Greenland, eh? Might see the Northern Lights. That'd be cool. Cool. Oh, there's a few airplanes up there. Invalid plate. Some clever nicknames. Invalid plate. I need very careful fuel planning and pray the winds are in your favor. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to keep it ultra realistic, because pretty much that's, you know, when you do, I'm sure you know how to do this, Dan, but, you know, I don't do it nowadays, but I could do, but when you do your full printout of your OFP, it's got things you can write by what your actual fuel is based on what the estimated fuel was, and if you can see that you're starting to burn more, you know, significantly more than what you thought, and of course your progress will tell you as well if your estimated fuel at destination is starting to run too close to the mark. You just basically find an airport en route and make a stop for fuel. That's probably the easiest way to do it, and plus it would probably make things a bit more exciting as well. Well, I think I see our airport. Looks like we're pretty much lined up for it, bang on as well. What do you think? Shall we get a greaser? Anyone want to take bets on my impact speed in the runway here? When it props to full. Start slowing the airplane down. Oh, I left the fuel pump on the whole time. Bad Dev. Bad Willie. Drop the gear. A little bit of extra drag. Flaps one. Need your Never even looked. I should have seen if there was an ILS approach. We could have actually done the ILS path on the arrow. Oh well. This Nighthawk going in for his final. See, roughly about 7 miles, 8 miles, something like that. Anyway, what was the moral of the story today? Beyond ATC is crazy. Is that it? Yeah. Bubba, you still kicking about? So Macau, I don't know much about Macau anyway, apart from the fact that it's relatively close to Hong Kong. I imagine this will be part of mainland China, though. Hong Kong, of course, used to be an independent city-state, which was reacquired by the Chinese government. See some buildings coming in there. I feel this is one of those things you should sit and chat in a pub about and go in depth when we don't end up leaving until 5 a.m. Don't know if it's worth that much conversation. I just hope the referee is more kind to us today in Murrayfield. That's all I can ask. Because the referee well and truly screwed Scotland over a couple of weeks ago. Or was it last week? I can't remember. Yeah, full flaps. Slowing to 80 knots. If you not screw up this landing, I'll never let you forget it. He says as Willie drops his approach way too low. Oh man. He's too low, yeah, way too low. How's that, Tim? Does that work? Hello, by the way. How are you? You missed my rant about Beyond ATC's pricing model. If you have to make a right turn to miss the approach lights, you're too low. Yeah. Yeah, that was a very low approach, to be fair. You're good. Good. Always good to hear. All right, where's Nighthawk hiding? You heard on my phone, on your phone, yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely bonkers. It's the first time I think I haven't been worked up in a while, but that as soon as I saw it, I was just like, oh my god. Concocted on the back of a cigarette packet, as we would say, or a fag packet, as we'd say in Britain. No, it's not a standard monthly price at all. It's like you have to charge up points, and so many X amount of points will give you so much time air traffic cover on a basic level, or if you want like an enhanced voice level, then that uses more points, and then you have to charge up points. So it's just the whole thing's. And that's after spending $60 US up front. So, yeah, it's just a bit insane. But there you go. Whoop. There you go. Oh, come on. Why has this done this? Oh. Ah. Alright, there we go. There we go. So, Nighthawk, huge thank you to you all. What's happened to my tags there? That's McCall Airport. I'm sure it's more interesting. We don't have any downloaded scenery for it, but I hope you enjoyed the tour of Hong Kong. That's how you spell failure? Yeah, absolutely. Pilot Edge is a smaller area of coverage, and they charge $20 a month for real controllers. I know. This is it. It's just, I don't know what these guys decided to put in their pipe, but they're obviously smoking quite a bit of it. But anyway, thank you very much for everyone joining along today. Huge thank you to Dan for the £5 donation as well. It goes a lot to offsetting the cost of the subscriptions. As I said, Epidemic Sound has decided to raise their prices, so that's been well received, so I do appreciate that. Tim says, person wants a true ATC experience, they will go for Pilot Edge or VATSIM for free. Exactly. Yeah, that's right. And it's a hard enough sell as it is. Last thing you want to do is have to produce a calculator for your customers to figure out how much they need to spend to get the experience they want. I'll leave on that note. Anyway, I hope all of you guys have a fantastic Saturday, and girls, if you're watching, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you very soon, and we'll see you here next week on Saturday. And don't forget, I will be broadcasting on Sky Blue Radio tomorrow at 1400 Zulu, which is 9 a.m. Eastern. And British Av Geek is going to be joining me on the show this time to talk about his channel and his experiences as a content creator on YouTube. So do head along for that. Lots of great music as well. We'll get a lot of rock and 80s this time around. Until then, we'll see you next time, folks. And toodaloo.